Good morning, y'all. It is a bright, beautiful, warm day already. Been out here hiking for about an hour, and it's been pushing 70 or high 60s at least for the whole time. So it's going to be a warm one today, I'm thinking. But it's going to be a great day, a beautiful day. Entering Shenandoah National Park. The Shennies, as the locals call it. Definitely looking forward to what Shenandoah has to offer on this beautiful day. Gonna be conquering some mountains, racking up some miles, and just pushing through all adversity. Let's do it! It is so green out here today. Everything is blooming and blossoming in full effect. Super high up, you can see on the mountains that some of it up high hasn't really started blossoming in full effect yet, but to be honest, there's really no mountains close to 4,000 for a while, so by the time I get up to that elevation again, it's definitely going to be blossoming and blooming. So spring is here, my friends, in full effect. Green everywhere. The leaves are still coming in. They're not super huge and, full size yet, I guess is a better way to say that. So you can still see up. It's not like you're in a green tunnel all the time yet. So here soon, though, that green will be thick and a lot of the views will be hidden, except for the outcroppings and the rocks and side trails. So still going to be beautiful. It's beautiful in the forest and it's beautiful in the mountains. Still going to be summiting those mountains. Still going to be on top of those mountains and getting great views down into valleys and up looking at other mountains. But the views will probably become a little less in the distance, I'm thinking. But we will see. Gonna take it as it comes, like we always do, one day at a time, baby. He keeps running up the trail a little bit and then stopping and waiting, and then I come closer and he starts running again. I think he wants to go hiking with me today. What about it, Bugs Bunny? You want to go hiking with Fortune today? He seems to trust me somewhat. And at the same time, watching me like a hawk out of his left eye. And I am in the Shenandoah National Park right now. I've done my permit, put it here in the box to be here. It's just a simple fill out, keep the top copy with you, put the other copies in the slot. No payment or anything needed for backcountry camping or through hiking. So beginning of Shenandoah for the next 100 miles, be going through this infamous national park with some wayside places where you can get a burger or a shake if they're open. Obviously, I'm ahead of the bubble, and they might not be open, some of them yet, but I'll find out. But more importantly, getting to see the beauty that Shenandoah has, and possibly some bears. I hear there's a lot of bears in Shenandoah, kind of like Tahoe in California on the PCT last year. That's what I'm hoping for. It's been a little light on the wildlife. It's definitely picked up in the last couple weeks, so hopefully I'll get to see some bears in their natural habitat, and some other wildlife as well. So I'm looking forward to the next 100 miles. Hope you are too. And going to be doing a lot of summiting here today and going forward. So let's keep her going. Through the trees down there, you can see Waynesboro in the valley. There's been quite a few rocks so far, but nothing bad. It's been like little spurts of rocks, little spurts of up and down, 300 or 400 up and then 300 or 400 down. And now I came to these kind of rocks, which I believe is shale. And the trail's like covered in that for right now. Terrain has changed quite a bit here just in the first few miles of Shenandoah. Now we come to some more rocks. Oh, there's a really nice view. Waynesboro Valley. The Blue Ridge Parkway comes through Shenandoah, but it becomes Skyline Drive. And getting ready to here soon have that first cross intersection with that. Very similar to Blue Ridge Parkway, where the trail kind of crosses back and forth over it for several miles. So that'll do that basically throughout the whole Shenandoah. I don't know if it ends then or if it becomes Blue Ridge Parkway again or what happens, but here in Shenandoah it is Skyline Drive. Supposed to be some really good views along that, just like the Blue Ridge Parkway. Right now the trail and the terrain is very similar to pretty much what I've been going through for the last 100, 200 miles of Virginia. No big changes yet. It's little ups, little downs, sometimes steep, sometimes not. I think if I go 20 miles today, which I plan on doing more than that, but 20 miles is like 4,000 feet of elevation, so a decent amount of elevation. About 1,500 of that, though, I think was before actually crossing the Shenandoah line, so I'll have to look later to see how much of that was in Shenandoah. But I do summit 3 mountains right off the bat. Not high mountains, obviously, but mountains nonetheless. So there's obviously going to be climbing involved. And I don't mind that at all, because I love the summit. But I am excited to see, what kind of changes may be. I've heard a lot of wildflowers and beauty here within the national park. So, see what happens. Just taking it one step at a time. The sun's behind the clouds right now, so it helped it cool down a little bit. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. And my miles, I'm not sure exactly what I'm at right now. Probably close to 10 or over 10, but around that area somewhere. And plan on having a really good day. Some big miles today, so let's continue on. Actually a steep little downhill here. A lot of pressure on the knees. Really cruisy type of trail though, with the, I don't know, the sawdust, pine needles, twigs, whatever you want to call it here. Like, gives a lot of traction and softness, but it is steep. It is really muggy today. Almost miserable. A lot of vegetation on both sides of me, so a lot of the air is blocked off if there is any wind at all. Ooh, I feel like 2-mile-per-hour breeze there. That feels good. It's just muggy. Probably close to 80 already. It's not even noon. Just, and even the sun is behind the clouds right now. It's still really warm, just really high humidity. Makes every step a little heavier, so to speak, because you're not breathing quite as well, and you're really hot and sweaty, and you have to keep stopping and drink water. But all in all, it's not bad at all. It's beautiful here, a lot of green all around. Climbing the first mountain right now, and we'll be summiting that here shortly. I don't know what I started to say, but I meant shortly. Actually got me breathing a little bit. It's not because of the hill either. It's not that steep or anything. It's just, it's like walking in a swamp right now for some reason. All right, well, get up top. It might be a little cooler and a little more breeze, but for now, we just push on through. Looks like these are pine trees, but I'm not seeing needles on them. So I don't know why they lost their needles. I'm assuming because I see some of the trees with, like right there, pine cone. I don't know what's going on, but a lot of needles on the ground on the trail again, making it kind of cruisy. I like it. I like it a lot. Getting really close to summit number 1 of Bear Den Mountain. There's going to be some towers up here on the summit and before the summit. And I already seen them off in the distance, so we're getting really close. And over here, looks like some kind of tower or building of some sort. And then a tank here as well. I don't know what that is. Some kind of building for something though. Radio frequency radiation hazard. Huh. Awesome. And it seems like when there has been rocks so far, it's just like that. Just for a short little short little spurt, and then back to a different kind of trail. And this one happens to be like meadow and grassy. I do like the terrain changing. It's definitely changed quite a bit so far since I've been here in Shenandoah, so I'm not going to complain about that in the least bit. All right, see you at the top. Good day. So these towers here and those seats, I'm not sure what the seats were. There was 4 of them, all different colors, like tractor seats or something. And then there was this little table that was made that was like so low you couldn't put your legs under it, just kind of sitting there in front of those seats. There was another gentleman over there with his dog, so I didn't want to interrupt him and show that on video, but it just had the Appalachian Trail logo on it, and it was just in a random spot. I guess somebody put the seats up here so hikers could have a seat, I guess, on the summit. But there were no real views up here except the towers and the seats. But nonetheless, Bear Den Mountain is in the bag. Here is a little side trail that's coming off the trail, but it's not marked or anything. But it looks like a trail that's been walked on, and it comes through this little meadow over here. I have no idea if there's anything here or not. A little bushwhacking right now through thorns. Oh yeah, that's fine. Whew. Getting all caught up here. Well, I don't think it's really going to go any better than that. So you can see it a little bit. I don't know if it comes through on the video, but you can see the valley down there, the mountains in the distance. Really pretty with all the meadow and everything. And I believe right over here is the next mountains I'm going up on. Really pretty. Here in the meadow. The meadow full of thorns. There's Bear Den Mountain where I just came down from. And over there somewhere, with all those mountains in the distance, is Waynesboro Valley. Got some beautiful trees over here with the flowers blooming. Getting ready to come up to the next mountain here. Okay, I'm definitely starting to see a difference in the trail now. Not only is it much greener, but the trail is just much more comfortable and cruisier. Even on the inclines right now, it's very gradual. Almost doesn't feel like you're going up a mountain. Then as you can see, it has the grass and sometimes pine needles and just little twigs and such, which give it that good traction and softness like carpet. You do have some rocks in there, and sometimes it's a lot of rocks, but those are very small sections, like here, you know, a little bit of rocks. But yeah, it's definitely quite a bit cruisier here. So from what I heard, this will continue or get even more so, at least through the first half of Shenandoah. So I don't know, a lot of things that people say end up not being the case. And the reason is because we all have different, you know, things in our mind, definitions in our mind of what easy or hard or cruisy is. So you can't just go by with what somebody says, because that was their opinion. And it could have been that day. Maybe they just had a lot of adrenaline and were excited and things seem easier, kind of like me going 3,000 or 4,000 feet up in the air. If I do that first thing in the morning, I don't feel like I've done more than 1,000. It goes so smoothly. If I do that 3 o'clock in the afternoon when it's hot and humid, it doesn't feel quite as easy. So you just never know, you know, when somebody gives their opinion. That's why it's just best to experience it yourself. Get out and live life. And I know some people can't. That's why I do these videos, so you can live it through this and enjoy it. And, you know, take in as much as you can. Hopefully the video gives you that experience as much as possible. Nothing like the real thing, though. So if you can get out and experience life and climb the mountains, and maybe mountains aren't your thing, maybe just being in nature and the peace and quiet of a city park with the birds chirping and the ducks in a pond or whatever, just do it. It's so peace-giving, so relaxing and anxiety soothing. Just do it. Just do it. Just live life, man. Live life. And Little Calf Mountain is in the bag. Standing on the summit of Calf Mountain here in Shenandoah, the third summit of the day. No views to speak of except for the trees and the forest, except for this big pile of rocks which marks the summit. Right there. So Calf Mountain is in the bag. Looks like some storms or rain there in the distance, but sure is a beautiful view. Right here along Skyline Drive, a little pull out. Beautiful. Sadly, I had to just pass a side trail to a summit. It was in my best interest, as much as it is tough for me to say that. This area of Shenandoah is dry. There is not much water to speak of at all. I was almost 13 miles in before Shenandoah had water. Now, mind you, I started 4 miles before Shenandoah, so I had water. From that side of Rockfish Gap, there was definitely some water there, but once you turn into Shenandoah, or enter into Shenandoah, it's about 8 or 9 miles to the first water. So I filled up there, and unfortunately, it's 13 miles from there to the next water. There might have been some water caches at a certain time of the year that they bring out here, but there's none right now, because obviously I'm ahead of that bubble. They don't expect too many thru-hikers this time of year. So whoever does bring out those water caches, whatever trail angels might do that, probably don't do them this time of year, and sure enough, they didn't. There was none out here, but that's fine. I'm good at managing water. Hindsight, I almost wish I would have gotten a 3rd liter at that last one instead of just, I cameled up and then I got 2 liters to carry with me. So I had plenty, but 13 miles and, you know, just really muggy today. So it's definitely making me sweat a lot. It's a lot of up and down. So you'll go up about 300 or 400 feet and that'll get you sweating, and then you'll go down. Right now I'm kind of outrunning some rain, it looks like. I haven't gotten rained on yet, but the wind does pick up at times, and as you can see, it's overcast. You've probably seen on one of the video clips earlier with the view. Well, those clouds were definitely moving towards me, so I'm kind of outrunning that. I have about 8 more miles to go to the water, and that's where I'm going to camp tonight. Right about 20 miles right now into the day, probably about 4,000 of elevation. Having a really good day. Some good views, but really just a lot of miles today. Just up and downs, conquering some mountains, seeing some good views, seeing some beautiful terrain changes, and the beautiful Shenandoah. It's beautiful trails, it's beautiful scenery. Just taking it all in and conquering. But yeah, I got about 8 more miles till that next water, and I am good on water. Don't get me wrong. I don't fool around with hydration. I do not fool around. But this side trail to Turk Mountain was about at least a mile out and then a mile back. So I didn't really want to put an extra 2 miles on when I'm kind of trying to outrun some rain, and you know, excuse me, you know, the water I have is enough to get me to the next water, and I don't really want to push that and make it a little bit more, because like I said, I don't fool around with that. So there's a couple reasons I went on, but kind of stinks. You know me, I like to summit all the ones that I possibly can along the way, but this one I had to choose to go by. So I got about, like I said, 8 more miles to go, and hopefully I'll stay dry and we'll see what the trail brings from between here and now, or here and then. Doesn't seem to be scaring me at all. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Oop, I feel the rain. So it started raining hard enough where I needed to put my rain jacket on. Then I got thinking, I haven't put this on for quite some time. Seems like I keep missing it, or I'll be in town or something. Like the other night it stormed, and I happened to be in town when it stormed, which was good because it was lightning and everything else. Right now it just seems to be rain. Nothing hard, just a little bit hard at times, but nothing like torrential. Just enough to put the rain jacket on, a little more than a sprinkle. So still going to continue on. Still have quite a few miles to go to the water, to where I'm going to camp tonight. And you know what they say, no rain, no pain, no main. This one here was on the trail, just looking at me. Then went over and started eating whatever plant he or she was eating. And then if you look in the bushes, like back there, I keep seeing a head pop up and looking at me. So there's another one back there. This one here is just like turned around looking at me now. And in the midst of turning around looking, decided to start nibbling on her side. Like I got an itch. Hello, my name is Fortune. I'm your friend. You knew that though, didn't you? You know I mean you no harm. Nope. Oh, you gonna come and say hi? You can see that one over there. Right there. Oh, I'm sorry. You want the camera back on you? Do you have a name? You sure are a cutie. Yes, you are. You're just wondering why I'm looking at you, aren't you? You're so little. You must be like one of the kids. Alright, I'll let you be. Go ahead and eat. I'm going to take off. It's starting to rain. I need to get to my shelter for the night. Or my tent for the night. Have a good night. You know, I don't know if I said this earlier or not. I might have, or I might have just thought it. But my feet hurt. I am pushing on about 24 or 25 miles right now. And today's not hurting my feet. My feet was hurting pretty much for mile 1 today. It was yesterday, which is weird because there wasn't much elevation yesterday, under 3,000. But the whole day, minus maybe a mile, was on rocks. And that tends to make my feet hurt. And this time it must have made them hurt worse than I thought, because they've been pretty painful all day. Just like I'm walking on bare feet or something. So it'll get better. There's rocks today, but nowhere near like yesterday. So another good night of rest, and they should be great tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to taking these shoes and socks off when I get to where I'm camping and resting them, and then letting them rest while I sleep tonight, letting them rest while I eat tonight, letting them rest up until I start walking tomorrow. Because they be barking. Taking a little break before the last push of the day. Got about a little over 2 miles to go, only 780 feet. Went 25 miles so far and 5,200 feet of elevation. Gonna have a little donut here, donut stick, get myself a little sugar. Took a couple ibuprofen. The feet, but my head's hurting a little bit too. The water has definitely been a struggle today. Just exhausted. This humidity today has just swamped me. No pun intended. But I'm going to take a little break here to eat this and then make that last push of a couple miles and set my tent up and eat some food and go to bed. Day 1 of Shenandoah is in the books. You thought I was going to say something else, didn't you? 27.6 miles and 6,100 of elevation. Time to eat and go to bed. Live life.